Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Vicky and today I'm going to guide you through a restorative yoga practice. Now, restorative yoga is all about relaxation. So it's minimal effort, it's finding a shape and using some props to support you there, so it's really easy to just melt into each pose. And we'll stay in each pose for around about 5 minutes to really allow you to reap the benefits from each one. If you'd like to complement the practice, maybe with some relaxing music in the background or some candles or even diffusing some oils, feel free to go ahead and do that. And we're going to be using props today, as I mentioned. The ones that I'm using are a bolster, 2 yoga blocks and a blanket. And if you don't have those particular items, you can maybe substitute them for some items from around the house. So maybe a thick couch cushion or some pillows, some books in place of blocks, even just some thick blankets rolled up would also be really supportive. So go ahead and find whatever it is that you need to get started. And our first shape for today is child's pose. The props that we'll be using are a bolster, which is going to come out in front of you on the mat, and the blanket. So it's going to be a wide knee child's pose here. So beginning by setting the big toe mounds to touch, sitting back on the heels and then sending the knees out as wide as feels good for you. You have some options here with your blanket. So if you know that it's going to be a lot for the knees to be kneeling for a few minutes, you're going to just fold the blanket as much times as to get it as thick as you need and then place it underneath the knees. Other options you have here are rolling the blanket, rising up and placing that between the thighs and the calf muscles to give you a little bit more height here. So this is a good one for if child's pose is not usually too comfortable for you. This is really going to help give you some support. And then the last option, which is the one I'm going to go for, is to roll the blanket and place it underneath the tops of the feet. So just getting ready before you settle in. So really set yourself up to feel good in each shape. So when you're in position, bringing the bolster closer towards the body, just sliding it in between your knees. Sit up nice and tall and then melt the body down to rest on the bolster. And you can have your bolster resting under the chest or just under the head, so whatever feels best for your body. Maybe starting with the right ear down, so you're looking out to your left. And then go ahead and close the eyes. And let's get started by really focusing on the sound of your breath, seeing if you can breathe deep into your low belly. When you exhale, see if you can let go of all of the breath. Bringing your awareness now to the corners of the eyes. See if you can soften. Same with the eyebrows and the space in between the brows. Checking in with the jaw and just seeing if there's any tension there. If there is, trying to just let it go. You can let go of your awareness to the breath now and just allow yourself to simply melt down over the bolster. Seeing if for this practice, maybe you can keep the mind nice and quiet, knowing that thoughts coming and going are perfectly normal. But see if you can let them do just that, pass on by, without giving them any of your attention. And if at any point that becomes challenging, just bring your awareness back to the breath. Use your breath as an anchor. And from here, gently lift just the head and then turn to look the other way, so left temple comes down to the bolster this time. Relaxing here once more. Checking in with the shoulders now, just noticing if there's any tension in those shoulders or the neck. And if there is, see if you can soften and relax. And then gently lift the head, bring the hands down to the mat and use your hands to press into the mat and lift you up nice and slowly. From here, removing your blanket and just setting that off to one side for now. And bring your bolster to the left side of the lower half of your mat. Maybe if it has a handle, if you can have the handle at the top so that you can reach it. You're going to come to lie down on your belly over to the left edge of your mat here, and you want your bolster, the top of your bolster, to be in line with your left hip. So rising up onto the elbows just to get yourself settled in. We're going to lift the left leg, bend the knee so that the knee is in line with the hip, and then rest that left lower leg on the bolster. So you really want to make sure here that your whole lower leg is supported, including the foot. Nothing hanging off the edge, but everything is supported by the bolster. So your knee and hip are in line, and your ankle and your knee are in line. And then from here, coming to lie on your belly, you can stack the forearms and rest the head. Just a gentle hip opener here. Breathe into that left hip. See if you can soften the shoulders down away from the ears. Breathing full, nourishing breaths deep into the low belly. From here, gently lift the head and slowly release the lower leg. I like to do that by bringing my toes down to the mat first, pushing into my left hand just a little to lower my left knee. Slowly rounding up, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So moving your bolster over to the lower half of the right hand side of your mat this time, and then coming to lie down close to the right edge of the mat, laying on your belly once more, and then positioning the right lower leg. So knee is in line with the hip, ankle is in line with the knee. Whole lower leg is supported by the bolster, so just make sure that your foot's not slipping off the edge or anything like that. It's totally supported here. And then slowly ease down, stacking the forearms, lowering the head, melting down to your mat, and letting go. Notice if you're holding any tension in the jaw or the shoulders. See if you can soften once more. And if you find that the mind is wandering, you could also try using a mantra here. So one that you could do is possibly with each inhale saying re, and with each exhale say relax. So relax. And just repeat that to yourself over and over until you feel that sense of quietness in the mind, sense of relaxation. And when you're ready, lift the head, plant the right hand down and slowly release the right lower leg. Rounding up to seated once more. This time we'll be using the bolster again, and this time at the back of your mat. So just placing it down behind you. We're coming into a supported fish pose. So if you have a zip on your bolster, just make sure that's on the underside. You don't want to lay back on the zip. And then coming to sit in front of the bolster. and sending the bolster about halfway back. Now you could also do this with blocks if you prefer. So if you were using blocks instead, move that out of the way, you would place those in a T shape. So you would place one block like so, and the other block like this, like the shape of a capital T. And then you would lower back so that this block is under the back and in between the shoulder blades, and this block is supporting the head. So that's one option. The other option is with the bolster, or the third option is to combine the two. So placing one block underneath your bolster, round about where the head would be, to prop you up. So go ahead and find which shape feels best for you today. Take your time, there's no rush. Placing the other props just off to one side. So if you're using your bolster, you want to position it so that when you lie down, the bottom of the bolster is going to be round about midway up your back. You'll feel that sweet spot that works best for you. So when you get into position, allow your body to just melt across the bolster, closing the eyes. Take the arms out nice and wide with the palms facing up. And you can move the arms as wide as feels good for you to really open the chest. Palms facing up is going to deepen this stretch. Palms facing down just slightly lowers the intensity. So you have lots of options in this shape. Your legs extend out long. And go ahead and relax into this supported fish pose. Maybe tuning into the sound of the breath once more. Noticing that stillness that comes to the mind between each inhale and each exhale. This shape is my favourite restorative pose. It just feels so good, particularly if you have tight shoulders like I do. Perhaps that's the way you hold on to your anxiety or your tension. Or even just if you spend a lot of time with the shoulders rounded, maybe driving or at a computer. This is a great counter pose. To just open the front of the body and the chest. Really breathe into it, allow your body to just melt down, feeling supported, feeling safe in this moment. Bringing your awareness back to the features of the face, to the forehead, eyebrows, the jaw, encouraging a softness. A sense of peace. From here, gently bring the arms in closer to the body, placing the palms down, even the elbows, and just gently guide yourself nice and slowly to rise up. Slowly unraveling. And then rolling the bolster out of the way for this next pose and taking hold of your two blocks. Placing one down on either side so they're within reach. And from here you're going to lie back down once more. Bringing the soles of the feet to touch with the knees bent, and then allow the knees to come out to the sides. And you're going to prop your blocks under the knees for support. So remember you have 3 different sizes of the blocks, so you can use them on the whichever setting feels best for you. So you can come up on the tallest, middle or the lowest, whatever you need today, so that you can stay here for a few minutes without any effort at all. And you can go ahead and rest the hands on the belly, or take the arms out to the sides with the palms facing up. Wherever you are, just melting down once more, closing the eyes and letting go. Reminding yourself that it's perfectly natural for thoughts to come and go, but allowing them to do just that. You can always come back to the breath to quieten the mind at any time. Maybe taking a moment to shift your awareness to your hands if they're resting on your belly, feeling the comfort of the rise and fall of each inhale and exhale, connecting you with this present moment. From here, reach out to gently remove the blocks from under the knees, and then use your hands to guide the knees towards one another. And from here we'll come into a supported bridge pose, so keeping the knees bent, planting the soles of the feet down on the mat. You can do this one with a block or a bolster, whatever's in reach. I'm going to use my bolster for this one. And you're going to slide that prop under the back of the hips. So pressing into the feet to lift up, sliding your prop into position and resting it under the low back and the back of the hip points. Ankles are under the knees are in line with the ankles. Try not to let them splay out to the sides. And belly, hands can rest on the belly or out to the sides of the palms facing up. This pose is so good for nourishing all of the internal organs, helping with digestion, the reproductive system. It's also super calming, so just really allow yourself to relax here. Trying to be as still as you can. And from here we'll move into our last pose of the day, into Shavasana. Now when I have all these props nearby, I love to use them in my Shavasana to give me some more support. So my favourite one is to use my bolster under my knees. So to do that, just gently press into the feet to lift the hips, be really mindful. And then you can use your hands to guide the bolster down until it rests under the knees. Taking the legs out wide. You can also use your blanket if it's in reach. A rolled up blanket just under the neck also feels really good here in Shavasana. So taking time to find something that feels really good, really supportive. Zero effort, just pure relaxation. And then go ahead and close the eyes. Feeling a sense of heaviness wash through the body. Noticing the parts of the body that are touching the mat or your props. Feeling fully supported. Feeling a sense of just letting go. And while we're here in Shavasana, I'm going to take a moment to read to you a poem by Donna Folds. It only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still, and just like that, something in me settles, softens, makes space for imperfection. The harsh voice of judgment drops to a whisper, and I remember again that life isn't a relay race, that we will all cross the finish line, that waking up to life is what we were born for. As many times as I forget, catch myself charging forward without even knowing where I'm going, that many times I can make the choice to stop, to breathe and be, and walk slowly into the mystery. Beginning to take some deeper breaths now into the body. And bringing some small movement to the fingers, to the toes, to the ankles and the wrists. Slowly bringing yourself back into the space. Maybe taking a big stretch. And then when you're ready, slowly making your way to a seated position on your mat. When you get there, bringing the hands to the heart center, closing the eyes once more. And let's finish with one big breath in through the nose. Big breath out through the mouth. Just taking a moment to check in with how you're feeling and inviting that sense of calm to stay with you for the rest of your day. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and feel free to check out any of the other videos that I have on there. Different styles from vinyasa flows, gentle yoga, yin yoga. I'd love to practice with you again soon. Namaste.